never slowing, never stopping, pushing forward every hour, every day, every quarter, every year. You don't do it for yourself. You do it for your company, your employees, your community, for all of us. That is why IMA is proud to help ensure the companies that form the backbone of America. Together, we are better. Together, we make a difference.
Friends, we're excited to be with you today and the West Division Football Media Day for the Frontier Conference. I'm Scott Crawford, Commissioner. I'm pleased to introduce you to our good friend Bryant Tyler from IMA Financial. IMA is a new strategic partner of the Frontier Conference, and they also present our media days. Bryant, would you give us a couple of comments and welcome our friends from Montana Western?
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Hey, Coach, happy to be here. On behalf of the entire team of IMA, we are thrilled about this partnership. IMA, just a little bit about us. We're one of the largest employee-owned firms in the country, but higher ed is kind of our niche. It's our expertise. We support and serve over 130 colleges and universities across the country, really consulting in athletics, student health, employee benefits, and property and casualty insurance. But why this fits so well, roots in the NAIA run deep with IMA. So we've had 20 plus year relationships with a few conferences like the KCAC, the GPAC's another great partner of ours. So partnering with a strong conference and a great conference like the Frontier was a no-brainer. And so we're happy to be here, and we wish you guys and Montana Western nothing but a healthy, productive season ahead.
All right, Bryant, thank you so much for that warm welcome to Coach Norris. I'm going to turn the time over to the voice of the Frontier Conference, our great friend, Rocky Erickson. Go ahead, Rocky.
Thanks, Scott. Welcome to the 2026 Frontier Conference Football Media Day. This is the West Division. A couple of quick notes. The Frontier Conference Coaches Poll will be released on Tuesday, August 18th. The NAIA National Poll on Monday, August 24th. We head to one of my favorite places in Montana, Dillon, Montana. Montana Western head coach Ryan Norris. Coach, what is the fire situation like in Beaverhead County right now?
Improving. We were able to get 2 full practices in the last 2 days. Before that, we were kind of mixing and matching the amount of time that we can get outside, and I was just being flexible and working through. So I'm hopeful that maybe we will start to see a reprieve in these fires that are occurring around us, and our communities outside of Dillon will subside, and everybody else then their properties will stay safe.
Coach Norris, what a great job you've done with the Bulldogs. 2024, you were 10-1, made it to the postseason round 2 last year, 7-3. How competitive is the Frontier? How hard is it to make the playoffs?
Well, it's always been challenging, and every year I feel like the West Division is extremely challenging. I feel like we have some of the better teams in the country, top 15 type teams that we're going to play multiple times through the season. So we're hopeful that we can pull those things out and bringing those quality teams in on the Eastern side, as well as just built our brand a little bit tougher, I believe.
Coach, any staff changes that you have?
We did have a staff change. We hired an offensive coordinator, Tyler Murray, former Bulldog player of mine, and had been the head coach up at East Helena, the Vigilantes up there. He had actually started the football program along with the school coming into Helena, Montana there. So that's a very exciting very exciting spot for us to be in. I've called plays and done all the head coaching duties for the majority of my time here, and to be able to bring in a quality human, excellent coach, like Tyler has been really exciting. We were able to also elevate one of our former student coaches to a restricted earnings spot. Tristan Rodriguez has been doing a fantastic job for us as a student coach, and yeah, he's just fallen right into he's just fallen right into place and taking off running, turning himself into a college football professional.
How familiar are you, Coach, with your new athletic director?
Pretty familiar. Yeah, we've known each other for a while. So exciting to have Jason on board. It's it makes me feel a little old, but to have all these guys, who played for me before, like Coach Martello is doing a fantastic job with our defense, and Jed Heffernan has been with me since like 2018 as a player and coach. There. So yeah, to have another Bulldog in the building is awesome. It's been a pleasure to do whatever I can to help him get off the ground running and do an awesome job.
Coach, tell us who you have with you today and who are some of your top returning players for 2026.
Yeah, well, Connor Dunley was an all-conference defensive back for us. Is here on my left, and Eli Norris was all-conference and all-American wide receiver again last year. Those are two of our top returning guys. We have a couple offensive linemen coming back who were all-conference picks last year, and Ethan Larson and Dylan Chrisman, and Ethan, Connor, and Eli were all picked as captains for us as well. So we have guys with good playing experience and who are excellent leaders on our offensive side. Jake Humphrey will be back at running back, all conference guy, multiple years, and Aiden Lammers, another running back as well. So we're pretty good. Sione Haimuli comes back. Last year he would have been our only returning starter on the offensive line, but got hurt in game one with an Achilles and missed the whole season. So having Sione back is very big for our offensive unit and our offensive line. We feel very confident about those guys. And on defense, besides Connor, we've got a lot of young guys who played a lot of football for us last year returning. Up front, Liam Rowe on the defensive line had a fantastic freshman year for us, and we've got Dre Ozuna at a corner, and Romeo Simpson as a corner, played a bunch of football for us last year, and Drew Humphrey in the defensive backfield there. But we're going to have some new names, guys who've really been special team stalwarts for us on defense, and Manny Varese and Canyon Sargent kind of coming into their own. And then we're looking for big things from Tyler Shane, who played a lot of special teams last year and a little defense for us at D end, as well as Tyson Beckles. So we've got a lot of guys who've played. We just you're going to need to get out the roster to figure out whose number that is.
Eli Norris, All-American wide receiver for the Montana Western Bulldogs, 78 receptions, almost 1,200 yards a year ago, averaging 119 receiving yards a game. Already the school record holder in career receptions and yards. Eli, tough question, but how do you turn down the big NIL money to stay at Montana Western?
I don't really feel like it's that tough of a question. Once you're here, you kind of realize that there's no other place like this. And I love my teammates and my friends, and I committed here for 4 years. And then I have the opportunity to take a 5th year now with the new NCAA rules. So really the decision to come back wasn't very hard or difficult at all, because I know what I have here, and I'm really happy to be here. And I don't know, I wouldn't change anything. So
you played high school football in Dillon. You play your college football there. The community support in Dillon, what's that like?
It's pretty awesome. It's really unlike anywhere else. Engine 18, they're just so awesome. They're handing out beef for free. They're supporting all our games, our tailgates, bringing the fire trucks and stuff. You really don't get that atmosphere anywhere else. No matter if we're having a down year like we had last year or a crazy year like we had in 24, the support's the same. So it makes it pretty easy to stay.
Connor, you got a new football stadium now. How do you best describe a home game at Montana Western?
Oh man, it's fun to watch. Bulldog Stadium was new my freshman year, so I never got to really experience the Vidge, but being a redshirt on the sideline and watching the community, and that's when I realized Dylan was special, is all the people that care because they know you, they want to see you succeed, and it's really fun. It's a great atmosphere to be in, and everybody has your back.
Connor, what do you like best about the defense?
I'd say tenacity. We try and play relentless, tough, and physical, and then I think everybody's willingness to play with a competitive edge has been really fun this fall camp. It's just finding that line between competitive and maybe going a little over is what we're trying to harness. But it's been fun to watch as everybody flying around and making plays.
Coach, your preseason games are all against Frontier Conference opponents. Your away games, you go to Oregon, you go to Arizona. Will the Arizona game, will you fly to that one?
Yes, we'll fly to we'll fly into Phoenix there.
Tell me about your schedule this year.
It's a little bit better than last year. Last year we had we had some tough games back to back to back on the road and with travel there. So the flip of the schedule I think is good for us. There, the challenge is we have the last week bye of the season. That creates a little challenge. It's been we've been used to having a mid-year bye. So that was I think a little bit of a challenge for us last year, especially because we dealt with injuries and we hadn't really dealt with many injuries the 2 previous years. I think that's why one of the main reasons why we won the conference and played like we did. So I like the schedule. I think it fits a little bit better in terms of maybe the teams that are going to be at least at the top of the at the start of the season will be at the top of their respective divisions, and we get to have them at home this year. And being at home in Dillon, no one really likes to play here. I get it, but we're proud of that. So the support that we get and the atmosphere that we have is really incredible. And we Dylan likes a football Saturday, man. So we're happy to give him some games against some of the top dogs in the country.
Dr. Crawford, the mic is open. You have to turn your mic on, Scott.
After what, 5 years of doing this, you think I know how to do that. I apologize. Hey, Coach Norris, I'd like you to talk a little bit about who will be wearing the number 18 jersey in honor of MJ Simpkins this year. And then I'll have a couple of questions for your student athletes.
Sounds good. Yeah. 18, 18 is a pretty cool legacy number that we have here, not just because of the story and how it came and that, but how 18 gets to choose the next 18 each year. And, and that representation, I feel like every guy who's wore it has just made a fantastic choice of a guy who's represented the program with the characteristics that we really want our guys to embody. And this year, Eli Norris got chose to wear 18. I believe he's the 4th or 5th Beaver Head County high school football player already to wear 18. And there's no parameters. It's just whoever wore it before looks out and says, man, this guy is the guy that I want to be the face of Bulldog football and represent MJ Simpkins and the number 18 in our community. So we're very proud to have Eli wear it. I know his mother, she is very happy that she has an 18 jersey. So, I guess, all's well at the Norris house.
Eli, would you talk a little bit about what it means to honor that legacy and how you go into this season wearing that new jersey number?
Yeah, it's definitely a little more weight on my shoulders than I've had in previous years. The last 3 years, I've really just focused on playing. There were older guys who kind of took the leadership role. I stepped into it a little more last year, but we had Kirkley, who was just an awesome leader. And MJ was actually my flag football coach when I was in like 4th grade or 3rd grade or something. So I had a somewhat personal relationship with him a little bit, and I always looked up to him and stuff. So just, seeing what he did for Dylan, the community, before and then after his passing is just really just trying to live up to, fulfill his shoes, and do the things that he would have done when he was my age. And, that's kind of difficult because, obviously he's such a great guy and such a big time member of our community, but, it's just pushing me to be a better leader, be a better teammate, be a better person on and off the field. And just, having that kind of thought in the back of my mind has really just kind of propelled me forward for my senior season, which I'm very, very grateful for.
Thank you for that commentary. It's impressive. Connor, would you talk to us a little bit about what you're doing academically at the University of Montana Western, and where that degree program takes you as you complete that here in the near future?
Yeah, so my major is business management, and then my minor is farm and ranch operations. And my goal kind of post college is to go get my master's somewhere and then ultimately go back and farm. But yeah, it's been really a great blessing. And one of the huge reasons I chose Western is because of the academics. The schedule that we have gives student athletes a lot of time to work on school and also their craft in their free time. And it's a big responsibility because you don't have a strict schedule throughout the day. You have to choose to do right. And I think that has made me a better person and a better man for the future.
Sounds like a great endorsement for the block schedule. We'll have to get this on a marketing video for the institution. Perfect. Hey, Rocky, I'm going to turn the time back to you to give members of the media an opportunity to address our friends at Montana Western.
Any questions from the media for the Bulldogs of Montana Western? Go ahead, Mr. Shepard.
Hey guys, Daniel Shepard here with 406 Sports. Eli, I was just curious, I know they alluded to, you having some records already. I know the one you're chasing is the touchdown record, and I know Nate Simpkins has that one, and he obviously wore 18 and played for Dylan as well. I know you're probably focused on team success, but to potentially break that record this year, what would that mean to you, just kind of knowing the history and being two Dylan guys, I guess?
Honestly, I haven't really even thought about that very much. But I mean, it's super exciting. And I mean, obviously, like, individual achievement is super awesome. And it's great, but I'm really more just focused on, winning game by game and just trying to just go out there and just put on a show for the fans and for Dylan and just win. That's what we're really focused on. But I mean, if records come, that's super awesome. And then I know Nate on a personal level a little bit too. And I mean, it's super awesome. He's such a good guy and he's such a great coach, player. I mean, he's just awesome. And so just, I don't know, being able to, watch film from him in the past years and, kind of model some of my game after him has been super awesome. And I just am really appreciative of him, through the years. He's been a great supporter and, no matter what happens, he's always there for me. So it's awesome.
For sure. Talk about maybe getting to know a new quarterback or I know Michael graduated. Just talk about kind of getting used to a new quarterback, I guess, and how that's kind of gone for you and for the receiver group.
I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like the transfer of the two quarterbacks has been super smooth so far. Sam and Caden are doing an awesome job. Obviously Michael is pretty insane with all the, pocket evasion he had and his ability to extend plays and stuff is so awesome. But, Caden is just making great reads. Sam is just making great reads. They're taking the easy play, making simple reads. And when, he can get the ball into Shook, Colton, my hands, that's just going to be difficult for defenses to deal with because the three of us are just able to make plays after we catch the ball. We have great routes. So it's just going to be, if those guys were just trying to make their job easy for them, by just getting open and then giving them simple reads and just trying to make plays, and they're doing a great job. So I don't really have, obviously there's a little bit of a difference just from who's throwing the ball, but I haven't really felt that there's a very big fall off, or if any at all. So.
Okay, great. Coach, just talk about that maybe too a little bit, what you're looking for in your next starting quarterback and how having a new offensive coordinator kind of fits into all that, I guess.
Yeah, this is a different style of quarterback than what we've had in our last two. John and Michael are, if we equate it to basketball, those guys are more like a point forward, not a point guard. They're a bit of the hero of the narrative with their style of play and what they do. Where our room now, especially Caden and Sam, who are in the throes of a battle right now, they're more in the point guard mode, and this is a good season to be in the point guard mode. I'm very impressed with our wide receiver core. I mean, I feel like we have multiple guys, especially our returning guys, Colton Cornwell and Seth Shook and Eli, that we can get the ball to. They're explosive playmakers, and they can run the entirety of the route tree and concept tree and all play different spots. So it's really kind of going to come down to, Daniel is who's the best decision maker, who's gonna put us in the best position to be successful, who's going to get us first downs, and who's going to drive the ball and get touchdowns. But I can tell you, it is not easy right now for us to make a choice. They're competing like crazy, and they're performing much higher than I thought they would.
I know Caden's been on your roster for at least 1 year, probably a little bit more than that. But are you referring to Sam Wolf as well?
Yes. So Caden LaPlante will be a redshirt sophomore, and Sam Wolf was a transfer from Cal Poly.
Okay, great. I wanted to ask you too about Bodie Smith. I see he's on your roster. I know he's a former Carroll guy. Looks like he redshirted last year. Is he able to play this year?
Yes, Bodie's redshirted. Man, he grew a ton last year for us and just had two incredible off seasons and a great spring. So Bodie will be a very valuable member of our secondary and special teams units this year.
Okay. You see him playing corner or safety for you?
He's playing safety currently, but Bodie's turned himself into a 5-position player, and so we're very glad he made a choice to come down to Western.
Okay. And then lastly for me, I've been asking every coach this, but the digital wristbands that the NAI approved this year, I'm just curious if you guys are participating in that, and if so, how it's gone for you.
No interest. No, we're just going to do what we've always done. It works, so I'm just going to keep doing it.
Sounds great. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Stuart, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Hey, guys. How are we doing today?
Good.
Good. Coach, I'm up here in Helena, KCAP Sports, and East Helena is one of the teams we cover on Friday nights, and I've gotten to know Tyler Murray very well. Sad to see him go, but happy for the opportunity. I know he's a Bulldog, so kind of going home there. Just talk about that process. What was it about Tyler? His offenses the last couple of years at East Helena have been ringing up the scoreboard. So talk about what he's bringing to Western and how that might change over previous administration or previous coordinator.
Yeah, our offenses are basically the same. So, so that was a no-brainer for me. The change up, it's basically just the amount, right? From the jump from high school to college is normally the amount and the details. Tyler's an incredibly intelligent, creative football coach. Loyal and honest, right? We had a great relationship when he was a player, and we've had a great relationship as professionals. So I always felt like Tyler had what it took to be a college football coach in all the different ways, not just his football acumen, but his ability to teach, his communication skills, and his personality in terms of what type of recruiter that he's going to be. Really, I think, Stuart, what he brings another experienced, mature voice to our offense, and that's something that I'm really relishing in. I haven't had a lot of those opportunities to work with. I'm usually working with someone very young who is going to move on in a year or two, which is also exciting. I love moving these guys on to bigger, better things. But to have another experienced football coach on the offensive side to work with, especially in the quarterback / passing game area, has been really awesome. It's been awesome for me. So especially someone I trust who I know is going to do awesome work.
Will you still be handling play calling, or does the OC in your offense do that?
No, Tyler will handle the majority of play calling.
All right.
So,
I want
but
to.
sometimes I can't help myself, man.
No, you're very good at it. I don't blame you. Quarterback battle. Do you see that going all the way up to September 5th, or when do you hope to have somebody number one, or is it going to be a battle again? You have John Junn, and we're thinking, well, it can't get any better, and then Michael Palandry comes to the door, and I mean, it's kind of like, you just roll these guys out there. I know it's not that easy, but when do you hope to have this battle maybe settled, or if it does go into
I
the
wanted
season?
to have it already, but they're not letting me do that. So I'm just going to let it happen as it happens, man. If it happens game one, awesome. If we play two guys game one, I haven't done that since 2011, so we'll do that. We're going to let it play out and see who's going to be the best for the team, and we can't decide yet. So if we can't decide yet, we need to let them keep competing, and that's what we're going to do.
And on the defensive side of the ball, when I got to Helena about 8 years ago, Western and Carroll, the defensive lines, your defensive lines were just so outstanding, and they've always been. Let's talk about that defensive side of the ball real quick as far as, getting back. You've been ringing up the scoreboard. You've been putting up just video game-like numbers the last few years offensively. Defensively, where are you at right now as far as, getting that defensive front and that back end? I know the secondary has been pretty strong for you guys over the last few years.
I feel overall, I mean, this is really just overall from the secondary down to our D line, the best that we've been collectively, and just in terms of our talent on defense. And so that's exciting. That's exciting for me. Every year we've kind of went into things and we're like, man, we've been incredible at linebacker. And then we had a couple of years where we were incredible on the D line, but we have not been that in the secondary. Those have been always that's been an area that's we've been challenged with. And this group is I've been impressed with this group the most of any group that we've had really since about 2016. And so as we move through that, I feel really good about our D line. I mean, I don't know. I think we'll have one junior and everybody else is a sophomore or freshman, but we are 8 deep on that thing. And I feel really good about it. I think we can really challenge offensive units with that group of guys. They are big and they're fast and they're strong. I mean, they're hard to deal with at practice each day. So I feel like that's going to be a real strength of our team. Although they're young, they haven't played a ton. Their maturity has been impressive to me as well. So we feel good about that unit. And I feel good about our linebackers. We just seem to be able to rotate guys in. And when it's their turn, they just make things happen. And I think Manny and Canyon, they have earned everything they got, and it's their turn. And I know one thing about those two, we're going to get everything they got. There's no question about that. And I've never asked anybody here for more than that.
Couple quick ones. Hayden Wright, I know he's a local kid here in Helena, East Helena kid. It's now been in the program a couple of years. Does he see more time on the field? Is there some opportunities there for him?
Yeah, we moved Hayden to linebacker in the spring, so it's probably going to take another year for Hayden to develop those skills to be able to start to put himself in that, to be battling on the 2 deep and into our special teams units. Incredible work ethic, loyalty, do right kind of guy. We're better off having Hayden Wright on our football team. That's for sure.
And finally, for Eli, playing for your dad, it's got to be a really cool experience. It's the final time you're going to be making this run, so I'm sure cherishing every day. And what's that dynamic like? I mean, do you go at each other? Is it very civil? I mean, I know you're both highly competitive individuals, but just talk about that dynamic being in the position you're at.
It's pretty good. I mean, obviously I respect my father as a coach, and I know he knows way more than me. So I wouldn't say we go at it really. I mean, sometimes I disagree, but I try to do it pretty silently. But it's really nice to be, he has a guy in the locker room that he can trust and count on. And so I can, I'm not obviously reporting back to him about every little thing, but we can talk, like have a father and son relationship and talk about how the team's doing, how the offense is doing. and we can sit down and have kind of difficult conversations, but they don't seem difficult because we've already built that relationship. And I think honestly, it's better for the team. And if he treated me differently, or if he treated me differently than any other guy, I would never have came here. I didn't ask for that. I didn't want that. And he knows that. So we have a very professional relationship. I don't feel like he treats me differently than any other player on the team, and I wouldn't want him to. So,
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate the time. Best of luck this season.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Daniel. And Eli, Connor, thank you. Wish you the best of luck. Stay healthy. Coach Norris, you are the best at what you do. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Rocky.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you guys.
Never slowing, never stopping, pushing forward every hour, every day, every quarter, every year. You don't do it for yourself. You do it for your company, your employees, your community, for all of us. That is why IMA is proud to help ensure the companies that form the backbone of America. Together, we are better. Together, we make a difference.